Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. In today's video, we are going over the macro charts, the short-term price action, the upcoming daily candle close, and everything you need to know about what is happening and what to expect next. We'll also be taking a look at the market data, the total cryptocurrency market cap, Bitcoin dominance, and absolutely going into massive amounts of detail on those short-term charts. Before we do get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. It is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in taking your trading to the next level, join us in the VIP channel. We post trading setups with exact entry prices, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more. You'll also get access to our group chats, our general chat, our trading chat and education chat, our daily video, our help, our trade setup, and our news chat. To get access to that with nearly over 700 members, you can contact me in the pinned comment of the free channel by clicking my name, or view these links to find our entire trading track record of 39 months of data, and of course a video showing you what VIP is about. And finally, if you were interested in supporting the channel more and getting 15% off your lifetime trading fees, and that can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, sign up to any of my links down below using the exchange links, BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX. Check it out, and we'll get into the video, guys. Let's dive on in. So starting with the market data today, let's jump over to that price. 24-hour volume down 2.6% at 122 billion. 24-hour liquidations down 24%, 103 million. Of the 103 million in liquidations, 45 million have come from long positions and 57 million have come from short positions. Taking a preliminary look at the price action, we can see Bitcoin formed what we would say as a symmetrical triangle formation. This symmetrical triangle, of course, broke into from the bottom side up. We saw a continuation into the triangle, and therefore we generally see directional continuations of the triangle exit following the direction of which it entered. So we see a directional entry in, we generally see a directional entry exit out of that triangle. Over the past 24 hours, not only have we managed to again establish and finally retest that $58,000 to $57,000 region at support again, we've also broken out finally out of this 10 plus day long, it's about a 15-day long weekly downtrend over here, as represented by this upper downtrending resistance. We have broken through them with a 4-hour candle close, and we have come up and retested that 200 SMA and midline resistance, which also lines up with the 3-day Gaussian channel. If we go to the Gaussian channel on the 3-day chart, it lines up with the 3-day Gaussian channel midline, you can see here, as well as the daily 50 EMA. And you can see where we're talking about here, which is that midline level, that dotted trend line we've come up and retested. With 2 minutes remaining, it doesn't seem like we're going to get a daily candle close above that level today, but we'll discuss whether or not that is possible moving forward. So jumping over to the DXY, the DXY is continuing toward the downside. Again, breaking below that critical yearly uptrend. This yearly uptrend has been going for around 18 months. Since July 2023, we have broken down, and that has resulted in a considerable correction of around about 1.2% for the DXY over the matter of around 3 days. Massive correction into that high time frame level of support. Again, we are watching this prior low point for a retest, and if we lose this low point, we are then expecting macro directional continuations sub 100 into our July 2023 low points. Watching that very closely. As per the S&P 500, it is still looking fantastically strong. Once more, while we remain above that critical level at 5,300, we are expecting directional continuations into that $6,000 region. This is going to be our prior and most recent structural high. We have our high points over here. Again, our local highs, our highs, our highs. This is going to be the most recent one. What we can see is a nice support resistance flip on that prior area of support, and we've now seen a directional continuation. We are expecting to see 6,000, provided we break through this point, this local high. So watching the price action very closely, the S&P 500 is very much still bullish. We'll only really enter a high time frame downtrend here if we do lose 5,300. This is what we've been saying for a long time, and we stand by that. So stay attuned to what is happening there. That is it, guys. Let's jump into Bitcoin. A quick word from our exchange partners today, and we'll jump into it. I'd like to introduce our partner, BitUnix. BitUnix is a global, non-KYC, no country restriction exchange, making it a perfect exchange to trade on if you're from the USA, from Canada, the Netherlands, or just prefer to trade without KYC. This exchange is a futures and spot exchange with over 200 different trading pairs, and some of the lowest fees in the game. If you sign up with my link down below, you'll get access to 15% off your trading fees, as well as an exclusive reward center where you can claim up to a multitude in USDT prizes. So go ahead and sign up with my link down below for 15% off, and I'll see you in there. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get stuck back into Bitcoin, and as we can see moments ago, Bitcoin was able to close another daily candle, but unfortunately this daily candle came just shy of the major midline trigger point we were looking for a close above. However, with that being said, we have seen a fantastic move over the last 7 days for Bitcoin, basically doing exactly as what was predicted. We told you guys a week ago when Bitcoin dipped under the 58.3k region, we've said if Bitcoin is able to reclaim this region and close a daily candle above 58.3, we will see a directional continuation to retest the downtrending midline. We have now seen that, and we have seen a 4.5% gain on Bitcoin as a consequence of that move. A huge congratulations. However, with that short-term move upwards, we are definitely not out of the woods. Yes, we have some bullish indicators behind us. Yes, we have broken through our symmetrical triangle. Fantastic. We'll discuss all of this in the short-term analysis, but we are still underneath the critical hurdle, which is that midline itself. We have now been underneath this level for the entirety of August. It has been 22 days where we've been underneath this midline, and for the most part of this month, this level has been acting as a critical resistance since around the 3rd of August. So 19 days of resistance now has come from this midline level. Now, the midline level is a major point of significance. If we look back historically, when we drop below the midline, we do see directional continuations to the range low, and when we close a daily above the midline, we see directional continuations toward the range high. Once again, a major directional trigger point as per what we have seen play out historically since the start of April. That's May, June, July. We're looking at 4 to 5 months of historical data here showing that the midline level, if we close a daily candle above that point, acts as a directional shifting point for the price action to facilitate a move toward the higher side or the upper level of resistance of the macro descending channel or the range low of the descending channel formation. So although Bitcoin has seen a fantastic short-term move, we are not quite there yet to expect to see that directional continuation to that 70k region, to that high 60k region. However, we'll be discussing that in just a moment. So if we break above this midline, we do need to see a daily candle, and we are expecting the break of which occurs, or when we see that break, we are expecting a pretty volatile move. The reason we are saying that is because we have been acting as resistance now at this level for, like we said, 19 days. The longer something acts as a resistance, when we are able to break through that region, we do generally see bullish momentum pick up. We are expecting a relatively strong move upwards into this 64k region upon the breakout of this trend line, and we're discussing why 64k when we get to our short-term analysis in a moment. However, we can also see the 50 EMA lines up perfectly with that midline. We also have the 200 SMA, and if we go to the Gaussian channel, we do have that Gaussian channel midline, as well as if we bring up our Bollinger Bands, we have also got the Bollinger Band midline, which has been basically perfectly mimicking that midline and that 50 EMA. So we have multiple points of technical confluence, as well as our structural confluence at this level, which will mark Bitcoin moving into a position of strength as opposed to weakness where it is right now. This was a major flipping points for the chart if we are able to break above this region. Now, if we do zoom out to the broader channel, guys, we have to contextualize what is happening. Bitcoin is still underneath this level of resistance, and while we are under this resistance, although the likelihood is going to be a breakout, which we'll discuss in our short term, we are not out of the woods, and there is still downside risk. This entire lower part of the channel is open territory of which the price action could move within, provided we do not break through that midline. Now, if we look at the broader picture, we are in a descending channel formation, and descending channel formations are bullish consolidation structures. They are a representation of buyers and sellers over a period of time, and it is indicating to us that the selling is being absorbed and is exhausting over a period of time. If we do take a look at this price action, this has been a 5+ month long downtrend, right? But look at the angle of this trend. We are essentially at the exact same price of which we entered this consolidation 5 months ago. This is telling us, although we have been seeing the markets, particularly the total market cap, correct significantly, Bitcoin is still holding relatively steady. Yes, it has been in a downtrend, but the volatility that we have experienced has been shaking people out has come from vertical volatility, not horizontal. We have seen more vertical volatility in terms of the depth, all right, the percentage change in the swings to the high side and the low side, which has really caused a misunderstanding of how volatile Bitcoin really has been in terms of our actual change in price when we're looking at the month-to-month change. So theoretically, Bitcoin is actually in a pretty stable consolidation over here if we do go ahead and contextualize the vertical volatility we have been experiencing over the last 5 months. Altcoins, total different story. Bitcoin, we can see the price hasn't really changed all that much within this consolidation since we entered this range back in March 2024. Now, if we were to fulfill the expectations of this consolidation, we would eventually see a directional continuation through the upside again. When we see entries within consolidations, the directional entry is generally the directional exit. That is a safe assumption. Will it happen every time? No, but it is a safe assumption, and it is an expectation. There's a higher probability we see those directional continuations as opposed to opposite reactions. Now, if we look at invalidations, we would need to see a daily candle close below the range low of this channel to invalidate the expectation, which is going to be an eventual break upwards. And again, the break upwards or the move upwards is only expected when we break above the downtrend of this consolidation. The break of the midline will facilitate a move toward the downtrend, but only a break of that downtrend would facilitate that next move upwards. It is a horizontal, it is a diagonal resistance. It is a key level that needs to break to facilitate a move higher. On the lower side, once again, for us to invalidate that upward move, we would need to invalidate the structure. To do so, a daily candle close, as per the data we have now, would be sufficient to indicate to us that we are sustaining underneath the trend line, underneath the lower support, which could facilitate a continuation downward. Once again, the reason why we are seeing a daily candle is because historically, during this entire 5 to 6 month consolidation, we have not seen a single daily candle close below or above the range high or the range low of this channel formation. Therefore, a daily close above or below would be an outlier. It would be a data point that we have not yet seen and could signify a change in the climate or a shift in strength, which could facilitate a continuation, not like we have seen in the past, where we just get these wicks to retest or these liquidity grabs to the bottom side. That is it, guys. Let's move over to that short-term price action. In fact, I might go through one more thing. If we do see that breakout, we are looking for a strong directional continuation well into that 80K region again. We look at the depth of the channel, we apply the depth of the channel to the breakout point, and that is going to be the measured move target. Does it mean Bitcoin will reach here? Maybe not, but it does open up this range for a potential directional move. That is very interesting and something you should definitely pay attention to. Let's move over to short-term price action. So as we can see, yes, Bitcoin is still under that major midline resistance we can see as per this red box, and we have this annotation over here to help visualize where that actually is. Now, Bitcoin has managed to break out of a symmetrical triangle formation, which is more or less developed over the past couple of weeks. A measured move of the symmetrical triangle formation, taking from point 1 to point 2, we're going to go ahead and take point 1 to point 2, be conservative. We go ahead and apply that. That would take us well over the 64-65K region, indicating a potential move toward the upside is expected, provided this downtrend is able to sustain. We are looking primarily at 64,000 to be that next area of resistance or potential target. The reason being, specifically, this is going to be that range low support that we sustained for a period of around about 15 days before breaking back down. So we look at prior areas of support to act as future areas of resistance. So if we are able to sustain the price above this downtrend, we are looking for continuations into that 63.5, maybe $64,000 region before then a short-term rejection or continuation higher. On these short-term charts, we can see Bitcoin was able to break through the symmetrical triangle, but immediately found resistance from the 200 SMA. Now, this is where it gets very, very interesting, guys. We definitely need to see this low point, or should I say, let's go ahead and draw it in, this prior high point, which also corresponds with this downtrending support level, sustain. If Bitcoin is able to sustain this region, we will very likely continue back on upwards. If we drop back in, we facilitate a potential move toward the range low of this symmetrical triangle again, and then we see a directional continuation higher. We can see a slight bearish divergence developing over here. Again, higher highs, lower highs on the RSI. This is an indication that this short-term price action is weakening, which would not come as a surprise as we have failed to break through the midline yet again. However, the most important thing is, even if we see a correction back into this region, provided we remain above this uptrend, we will expect to see continuations higher. So if we lose this uptrend, we would then expect to see a correction back to our horizontal base, our horizontal support between 57.7 to 56.5. Okay, this region over here. However, that is not expected while we remain at any price point above this uptrend. So that does mean we are expecting continuations higher into the 64 to 63.5K region prior to these lows being retested again. We only expect these lows to be retested again if Bitcoin does not sustain above this diagonal uptrend as represented by the lower trend of the symmetrical triangle formation. And to go over worst case scenario, guys, if we do see a break in and we do see a loss of a triangle and we fail to sustain above this red level of support, we will see a correction to 54. We will potentially see a correction into 53,000, which will retest the lower level of that downtrend of the descending channel formation. So all in all, Bitcoin is not out of the woods. We have seen a great weekly move upwards. We have seen a fantastic attempt to break through that midline resistance again. We know how major and how important that midline level is, but we have not managed to break through it as of right now. The short-term price action is showing some hope. It is not really, again, like I said, out of the woods yet. There is definitely still some risk over here and possibility we could see invalidation of this attempt and continuation lower. However, there are a lot of good signs from a structural perspective, a horizontal perspective, and a technical perspective, suggesting that Bitcoin will be able to pick up its feet and continue much higher over here. So thanks for paying attention, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Quickly going over Bitcoin dominance. We are watching dominance over here. It is still retesting that critical level of resistance. Once more, altcoins will be perceived to do very, very well if we break from this uptrend, this major uptrend. If we lose that uptrend, we will see a strong altcoin move. If we look at the total market cap is retesting that midline yet again. Again, we can watch that total as an indication for Bitcoin to go higher. We can see a nice strong gap in the total over here to 2.2 trillion. So we do expect that gap to be filled, and we will expect a continuation high over here. Same goes for the altcoin market. We are expecting an eventual retest of this downtrend, so expecting a move slightly higher. That is it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next video tomorrow. See you then.